past few weeks, you've probably noticed that I haven't put up a normal amount of videos, as many videos as I typically do. The reason for that is I've been in wildland training. It's springtime, and that's usually what happens. I've had a lot of classes to take because I'm trying to start a career, or getting a lot of these different things, these benchmarks taken care of, because it's something that I really have a passion for, and the more I'm around it, the more I love it. 10 years ago or so, I guess it's been longer than that, 13 years ago, I was a wildland firefighter in Colorado. I also worked as a structural paid firefighter, and I had a real passion for it then. And got out of it, you know, life changes and marriages and kids and families and all that, but now I'm in a position where I can return to it, and I'm really blessed to be able to live in an area that there's such a need for it, and our department is all volunteer, and we don't have, a lot of guys are not up to speed, so I've really taken it upon myself, me and a few others in the department, to get some really good advanced training and some certifications so that we can be an asset to our department and bring that knowledge back. Because there's, you know, as you know, if you watch the news at all, wildland fires are becoming a bigger and bigger problem. And well, and it's just, that's the way that I give back to my community. We all should give back to our communities, just find a way, volunteering or however. Not everyone has an option to be a volunteer fire department. What I've been working towards is I started last year as just your basic entry-level firefighter, even though I had quite a bit of experience from years ago. If you don't stay current, then you start from scratch. So I'm starting over from scratch. So I just finished up, and we'll be fighting. Well, we'll be red carded as a FFT1 this year. That is, it's hard to find an equivalent, because the fire service is very much like the military in regards to rank, and that really appeals to me. I guess I kind of always have a little bit of regret that I didn't go into the armed forces. I signed up twice. That's a whole nother story, but I never did end up going. But this is very similar to that. Granted, no one's shooting at you, but it's not without its perils and dangers, and I enjoy and really thrive in that environment. And it's fun to have those benchmarks. Mrs. W always gives me a little hard time, and because it's like a Boy Scouts for men. You know, you earn your little merit badges, and you don't exactly get merit badges, but we do get, you know, these nice certificates. But as a, well, I don't know, I need to show you the certificates. We've all seen those. But as a FFT1, or what I'll be fighting fire as this year, that gives me, that completely changes my role. That now, I guess the military equivalent, this is based this very loosely, would be probably like a first lieutenant. What that, now instead of going out in a fire, and I'm only concerned with myself and my own well-being, and that I have my own kit and equipment correctly and skills and all and such. Now I'm in a position where I am authorized, thank you Uncle Sam, to supervise up to 9 people. It's called squad boss. So squad boss is FFT1. So that's what I will be doing this year. Next year, you know how the fire service works is there are benchmarks that you work towards. Of course, you have to go in and take the classes and the education. Some are online. Most of them are classes you go to. I take my classes that are provided for the U.S. Forest Service. And then you have to have experience on actual fires. And they have what you call a task book. I'll show you. I think it's kind of interesting. So a task book, you have what they call having an open task book for your next level. So now that I have completed FFT1, the next benchmark for me will be to be single resource engine boss, from squad boss to engine boss. And that means that I can operate independent of a supervisor, so to speak. In other words, there will be a fire boss on the fire, but he can go, if you're single resource or engine boss, give you your orders and off you go. You're considered to be trained well enough that you don't need to be supervised, and you can complete your missions. But a task book, this simply looks just something kind of like this. It's just a whole bunch, they used to have these nice little books, but now they're just papers that you just print out yourself. But this is my completed task book for FFT1, And if you look inside here, there's lots and lots and lots of pages and tasks that you need to complete. See right there? So those are just task after task after task. And all different things to show that you are qualified. And they have to be completed, a good portion of them, on actual wildland fires. Whether it be a lookout, order resources, lots of different things. And so those need to be signed off by your superiors. I hate that word, superior. They're not necessarily superior, they're just operating at a different rank, but nonetheless, that's what it's called, superiors. So once you get this signed off and you complete all of your education, you submit it, and the woman at the state will say yes or no. And just because you fill this out and you've met all the criteria doesn't necessarily mean that you get the promotion. They don't give them out easily because so much is at stake. Even at my level as a squad boss, I am personally responsible, can be, for up to 9 junior firefighters. These could be people out for their very first time with very little or no experience as to weather and fuel conditions and loads and all of these things. So it's not something to take lightly. And I think that it's great that they don't just hand them out to anyone, because as a entry-level firefighter, I would want to make sure that who it was I was working with knew what was going on, knew how to keep me safe. I wanted to also, in this video, I want to talk just a little bit about, I get contacted all the time, a lot. How do I get into the fire service? By young guys, you don't have to be a young guy to be in the fire service. I was just going through one of my classes yesterday, and 2 of the guys are in there that are older than I am, that have had experience but want to make a career out of it, want to do this full time. And I could definitely see myself doing that, because I really enjoy it, really enjoy it. Will I make a full-time career out of it? I don't know, maybe. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll do that instead of videos, I don't know. It's just an option. I'm enjoying it now. I would really recommend, if you're a young guy and you don't have much going on, maybe you're just out of high school or been bumming around for a while, I understand how that goes. I was there for sure myself. It would be great for you to get into. It would be great for anyone to get into for a couple years. I would be a big advocate of mandatory service in the armed forces, providing if I felt that our government was really looking out for our troops, and when they were sending them, it was for a good reason. I don't believe that to be the case. I can't support, I'm not going to get into politics here, but I can't support a lot of the things that are, and the reasons our troops are going and fighting for and dying. Some are good, some are not good. But the question I'd ask myself, would I want my son involved with that? I'm as patriotic as you are. I love this country, very proud to be an American. However, I'm not always so proud of everything that my government does. Nonetheless, another good option is the Wildland Service. It's very similar in a lot of ways, I would imagine, to the U.S. military. You have the ability to advance in rank. You have a very high risk environment you work in. You have to be in tip-top, excellent physical conditioning. Some of the best, probably some of the most difficult jobs in the world are in the fire service. I really would encourage you to get involved with it. It doesn't matter where you live. You could live out east and say, well, we don't have a lot of fires down here. Well, that's fine. You can come out west. There's fires in Texas. There's opportunities as a wildland firefighter in the wintertime to go and fight fires in Australia, because we have the change of seasons. Our winter's their summer and vice versa. And so there's a lot of movement back and forth between those. Even command teams, IC teams, will come from Australia and supervise some of our big fires. I haven't been on one, but I've heard of it happening. How do you go about this? How do you get a fire job? There's 2 routes. You can go private contractor, or you can go public. In other words, work for BLM.
Until that day